Hi my loves, thanks for returning. I hope this video finds you happy and doing well. As you know by the thumbnail, this video is going to be on my top rainbow eyeshadow palettes that were pretty much released in 2019. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. Alright, all of these palettes were pretty much released in 2019. I think I have two palettes that were released in 2017 and 2018. So let me just first tell you some bases that I like to use which help these eyeshadow palettes perform pretty well. I do like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills primer. I'm sure you all are familiar with this one, and I like this one because it dries down, and once it dries down you can get a good blend with any eyeshadow that you use. You can easily smoke a lot of the darker shades out, and for me I find that it works really well. I also use, this is an old one. This one is the NYX Crayon in Milk, and I really like this one. It works. And another base that I like to use are these MAC paint pots, and I have Painterly, and this one is just in black. And these work well too. They kind of work similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Pretty close, but not the same. And sometimes I use the Kat Von D concealer in white. And I also like to use Ulta's concealer. So those are the bases that I pretty much use for these eyeshadows, and they all work well. I know some bases really don't work all that well that I have, and I just decided to pull out the ones that really work. Alright, so let me go ahead and start off with the first rainbow palette that I have, and that would be the ever popular Juvias Place, and this is the Warrior 3 palette. And the reason that this made the cut is because it has a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow, and of course it has some other bright colors. And of course I know you already know that Juvias Place eyeshadows are very pigmented. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch a few for you so you can see. Now I don't have a primer or anything on my arm, but I'm just going to swatch them so you can see how pigmented they are. And all of these colors are so pretty, and I especially like how the color story kind of matches the artwork on the packaging. But Juvias Place is really good at doing that. Alright, so the next one that made the cut for my favorite rainbow palette for 2019 is this E.L.F 18 Hit Wonders. And I saw this palette a lot of times and I would just pretty much pass it by. But I was watching Get This Glowing. If you all don't know her, go and check her out. I will put her channel information and her handles in the description below. But she's a makeup lover like I am. I forgot which one she had. I don't think she had the rainbow palette, but of course the reason that I have this one as a rainbow palette is because it has the blue, the green, the yellow, and it does have some transition shades as well, which is very helpful. But there was only one dud in this palette, and that would be Quartz. I mean, out of all of these shadows, they even swatch really, really pretty. Let me go ahead and swatch a few. But they are super, super pretty. That's kind of like a blue, the blue-brown shade that MAC started off with a long time ago. There's the green. Here is the yellow. And that's like a peachy shade. So as you can see, they really do swatch pretty good for the price. I think this palette was $14. It was $10 or $14. Let me swatch a few more for you. So this one is the silver, and I'm gonna swatch the purple right here. And there is the purple. So of course those shadows really do look different once you apply it to your base. I feel as though these shadows really do blend well, and for the price, for there to only be one dud in palette, I think that's really good. And let me just show this to you again. I don't even think I showed it to you, but it's just really, really pretty. The casing is nice as well, but these metallic shades, I have to tell you that if you haven't tried, and I'm not trying to enable anybody or anything, but if you're ever in the market for an eyeshadow palette, check out E.L.F because these metallics are surprisingly good. So yeah, this one has definitely made the cut. Alright, so the next one that I have is the Spectrum palette by Profusion. I'm sure all of you all have seen this one. This is a really pretty rainbow palette. That's pretty much all you think of when you look at this one. And for me, I didn't find that any of these were duds. I found that all of them were blendable. Now you do get some kick up, of course, but that's kind of almost to be expected with a $5 palette. That's all this palette costs. And let me go ahead and swatch a few for you. just so you can kind of see how they swatch. And I've always said that I think that swatching is not a good indicator of how well an eyeshadow is going to do, but I do know that there are some people out there that like to see how it swatches. So here we go. That's the pink. There's another pink. There's a green and the yellow. So not bad for a $5 palette. I love it. Alright, so the next one that I have is the Radioactive palette by Melt Cosmetics, and this is another one that's really popular. I know you all have seen this one, and that's pretty much all you think of, or all I think of when I see this palette is a rainbow. So let me go ahead and swatch these. Now what I think is pretty cool about these shadows is that I've noticed that all of them have those little sparkly things in them. I don't want to call it glitter, but all of these shadows have that, and I think it's really pretty. Now, does it stay on completely when you apply it? For me, not so much. I can see it if I take a picture and it's up close, but at a distance, I definitely cannot. And also, these shadows are kind of like, how do I describe it? They're kind of satiny, if you will. They're just not, to me, they just seem like they're that type of texture. But let me go ahead and swatch. That's the purple. That's the green, the teal, and the pink. So yeah, this one is really nice. I think that the only thing that separates this palette from the other palettes is the fact that it's the formula of this one. It's coming off to me as a slight satin, and I like how they have little sparkles in all of these shadows. I think it's really pretty. It would be really cool if all of it would actually show up when you apply it, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so the next palette that I have is by Moira, and this is the Fearless Heart palette. This is from an indie brand, and isn't this palette as cute as can be? And this is another one that I want to say that one of these shadows has the little sparkly things in it. Maybe it doesn't. But anyway, let me go ahead and swatch these. Now, I do like these shadows, but these are a little bit more densely packed. They're not dry. They're just very dense. And you don't get a lot of, you do get a little kick up, but the kick up is different from the other palettes that I've shown. It's a little bit coarse, if you will. I don't know how to describe it, but this is like a thicker type of formula. Okay, so there are all the swatches for this palette, and this one is super, super cute. Very, very affordable. It's only like 16 bucks. So yeah, and then for Black Friday, it might even go down even more. I'm not sure. So that one made the cut. Let's see what else I have. I have the Violet VOSS palette. This is the Vibes, and this is it right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you all, and for those of you all who watch me on the regular, you've already seen me pull this palette out, but I think that this is a good companion palette to this one. Her Rainbow palette, this one is all metallics. Okay, as I know you makeup lovers that are out there already know. But so this one is the mattes and this one is the metallic. So this one I feel kind of pairs well. So just wanted to show you all that. But these colors to me in this palette are a little bit more neon than any of the other palettes that I've shown. At least that's how they show up on the eye. But let me go ahead and swatch this one. And this palette, you don't get a lot of kick up and fallout, none of that. So for those of you all who don't like that in a palette, I wouldn't worry about it. Well, I'm gonna swatch it here. There's the yellow, the blue, the green, and the pink. So not bad, really nice. And of course, as you all know, that palette is 30 bucks. I don't know if I've ever seen that palette go on sale though. All right, so the next palette that I have is by Revolution. This is the collab that they did with Tammi. This is the Tropical Carnival palette. And I know you all are familiar with this one, but I think that this is a really, really pretty palette. I like how she put the mattes and the metallics together. When I watched her video on this, she said that she wanted to make it easy to use. So every matte shade has a metallic shade to go with it. So for beginners, if you just want to put one color on your lid and then put the metallic on the center, you could just do that and kind of be through with it. But these are really pretty. Let me go ahead and swatch these for you. Okay, there's the red, the blue, the yellow, and the a teal blue. So as you can see, they swatch really good. Now there is one dud in this palette, but it doesn't matter because I'm basically talking about the lighter colors to which make it be a rainbow palette. This black shadow is a real dud, and I hate to say that, and I was really disappointed, but you know, one dud out of a palette is really no big deal. But let me go ahead and swatch that just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's like a grayish black. I'll swatch it here. So you see that? That was a disappointment, but all of the other shadows are really, really pretty. All right, the next one that I have is the Riviera Rainbow, the Riviera palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And here it is right here. This is a very colorful, pretty palette, and I also like how this palette also includes transition shades. But you know, for the purposes of this video, I'm mainly looking at this gold, the pink, the blue, and the purple. And those to me, you know, those are some colors that we see in the rainbow. So let me go ahead and swatch these. And Anastasia Beverly Hills has one of my favorite formulas. All of the shadows are so soft. So anyway, that's the pink. That's the gold. There's another pink. And that's the silver. Okay. So super, super duper pretty. All right, so I also have an old one. But I'm going to show it to you all anyway. This is the Sephora Editorial palette. Of course, I think rainbow when I see this because it has a red, blue, a green, a teal, a orange. Just really pretty. And all of these down below, even though they look white, they're all metallic. So let me just show you. This is one shade. Okay, so as you can see, it has a silver color. That's another one. And all of these are like different, they're different formulas and they all show up different. You see how that one has, even though it's white, it has a purple undertone. This other one up here that looks white, it has a yellow, a pink undertone. Yeah, but when I pull this palette out, I basically focus on the two middle rows, but all of them are nice. All right, and the last palette is a glitter rainbow palette, and this one is by Model's Own. Can y'all see that? Let me open this up so there won't be a glare. So here it is, and for those of you all who like glitter, you'll love this palette. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch. And I know some people don't really like glitter, but some people do. But you know, this is for the folks that do like it. All right, so here is green, a blue, a red, a pink, and a yellow. Really pretty. Okay, so that's it. Those are all of my favorite rainbow eyeshadow palettes that pretty much came out in 2019. Let me know down in the comments, do you have any of these eyeshadow palettes? What rainbow eyeshadow palettes do you have in your collection? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until my next video, smooches.